Welcome to DayZ. Base building in vanilla DayZ is a difficult system to grasp, and with no in-game tutorial, it makes sense why so many people avoid it entirely. Today, we are not only going to go over making it simple for you, but we're going to give you all the knowledge I've attained from building some odd 50 bases in vanilla this past year. Enjoy. So we can only build two different things in DayZ vanilla base building, and that is a fence on the right and a watchtower on the left. We could kind of adjust these two items, but these are our two base items. And how we start to get either one of these is by taking a rope and some short sticks and combining them. Once we combine those two items, we get this little kit right here, a fence kit. We're gonna start with this one, okay? And when it's in our hands, we could tap left click, and that is going to bring up this hologram. Now, when it's white, that means I can build here. When it becomes gray, that means I cannot build here. Sometimes it's too far away. Sometimes it's because an object is in the way. Sometimes the ground isn't flat. But most importantly, when we're about to build, we have to know what side is the soft side of the wall and what side is the hard side of the wall. So the soft side is facing me. The hard side is away from me. And I'm going to visualize that for you on this wall here. So for those of you that don't know what hard and soft is referring to, this is the hard side of the wall. I can't access anything in the inventory of the wall. I can't break down or build from this side of the wall. The only way I could get through it is by breaking it down. Now, on the soft side of the wall, however, I can access the inventory of the wall and I could dismantle it. So, obviously, we don't want a bad guy to be able to get to this side of the wall. So, it's very important that we understand which side is soft and which side is not. So, once again, when we have the wall and we hit left click, the soft side is facing us. So we're going to go ahead and hold left click right there because it's white. Now, when you place it and you walk up to the wall, the side that allows you to fold it and the side that the inventory is on is the soft side. So if you're not sure once you place it down, you can always just go up to it and pick it back up and start over anew and be like, okay, well, now I got it again. All right, soft side is facing me. Let's say you spun it too much. You could always right click and that resets it. So soft side is once again on me. And let's go ahead and build this. All right. Now, if we go on the soft side of the fence kit here and we press tab, it shows us what we require in order to upgrade. And right now we need logs. So we need to go get 2 logs from a tree over here. And here we go. I got 2 logs from a tree. Now, you could either walk up to the fence kit and attach the log, or you could drag and drop from proximity. Once we have the 2 logs in there, we're essentially setting the pillars for our base. So we're putting bam, bam, we're putting those 2 into the ground. We need a shovel, a farming hoe, a normal shovel, a field shovel, or a pickaxe. So one of these 4 items. And then we're going to go look at the base of the wall and we're going to build base. And boom. Important note, when you do put up the 2 posts here, your fence kit comes back to you. It's a yo-yo or a frisbee or a boomerang. It's the thing that comes back to you. It's your dog, hopefully. And now when we go to the soft side of the wall and we press tab, we're not going to pay attention to this. I'll show you that a little bit later. When we go to the soft side of the wall here, we have nails, planks, metal sheets, and metal wire. So for now, I'm just going to populate these, and later on, I'll show you how to get them all. All right, so as you can see, I've populated all of them in the wall, including the metal wire here. And we are going to look at the base of the wall, and we are going to build frame. And if I scroll wheel, it'll allow me to build through the other options that I have. But we're going to build the lower frame first. And now a trick is to look at the actual frame. If you look in between, you won't get the prompt. Look at the frame, and then we're going to build the upper frame as well. Then we're going to round that off by building a lower wooden wall and an upper metal wall. So we got our wall all set up, but we actually want to turn this into a gate or a door. So we're going to go to the soft side of the wall, and we're going to drag metal wire into the slot here. And look anywhere at the soft side of the wall with pliers in our hand. And we are going to build gate. Boom. An important note is that the gate will always open from this right side when you're looking at the hard side of the wall. Okay? From the soft side, it always opens from the left. Now, we have a situation. We have a gate, but anyone could just put a lock on it. So we got to do that first. We have 2 different locks. We have a 4-dial lock and we have a 3-dial lock. These ones right here are pretty useless. Someone could raid your base really quick and put all that hard work that you put together down the dumpster Don't use the 3 dials. They're not worth it. They could be broken in like 15 to 20 minutes. But you can use a 4 dial. A common mistake that people make is that they accidentally click this and they put the 4 dial on before they change stuff and they go, what am I going to do? Oh no. Or they accidentally did it on their way to putting in the code that they wanted. They connected it. An important note is that if you haven't changed the 4 dial combination lock, it's just going to be all ones. So we can go 1, 2. Let me see if I can get it right with admin tools. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yes. All ones. Check it out. Boom. And when the code is fully entered, it drops on the ground. So you, if this was your base, would take the code lock in your hand, open the door, close the door, and then we're going to reattach it when it goes boom. And you'll see when you reattach the code lock, it's going to randomize the code. So our code is 11111, but the actual code it put in is 5738, just to throw people off. So if someone shot you right when you put your code lock on, they wouldn't have your digits, right? All right, so that is how you build a wall. That is how you turn it into a gate. And now we're going to talk about the watchtower. But first, I am God. All right, now that the rain has stopped, we're going to look at how to build a watchtower. So it's very similar to the gate here. It's just going to take more steps. So first off, if I want to displace it, I'm just going to go to the middle and it's going to allow me to fold. But when we're in here, it's going to take 4 logs. As we see 4 sticks in the ground. We need 4 logs. Let's go get them. All right, so now I got my 4 logs. I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop. And then what do we need to set this thing in the ground? We need something that digs. We're going to use a shovel. Sometimes it is hard to find. You just got to look at this log here in the front. And we're going to build the base. And what you'll notice is just like our fence before, a watchtower kit drops on the ground. Let's say you place this in a spot that you didn't want it. You could always use that same digging device and go to the center, and you could dismantle the base and take it all down and start anew. All right, but now that we have our structure built, we'll see pretty much the exact same situation. We have nails, planks, metal sheet, and the attachments, which I am going to talk about in just a moment here. So I'm just going to fill these out for now. And like I said, we'll look at how to get these a little bit later. All right, so here we are. We are going to look at each wall, and that's where we're going to build each, okay? So as we see, we have a top one that just says base, and it's with the first floor. Upgrade left, first floor. Upgrade front, first floor. So we're just going to go around to these, and we're going to upgrade these slowly, okay? All right, so once we have all 4 upgraded, first off, you can use just these 3 walls kind of connected as a base building device in itself, instead of building 3 walls. If you just want to box something in, like a car, for example, a lot of people do that. You could do it that way. But after we build these, we want to go to the front bottom, kind of the same place that we dug the thing in, and that's going to allow us to build the floor. And that is this level right here. So these are the walls, and this is going to be the floor and the stairs. So let's build the floor really quick. Boom, and that sort of acts as a ceiling. And then the same exact location, we can build stairs. So now, you're pretty much going to rinse and repeat for the rest of the cycle here. But the only thing is now, on this next floor up, we aren't going to use a shovel to dig in the 4 posts. Why? Because we're not on the ground. And we're not digging those 4 posts in the ground. Instead, we're hatcheting them into these other things right here. So we don't use a shovel once we're on the 2nd floor. That is pretty much the only thing that changes. Wow, remarkable. 4 logs have appeared here in front of me. Okay, so we're going to go right here in the stairwell. Remember, it's going to be like at the base, the soft base of the front here. Oh, for some reason, that one isn't showing up there. There we go. And we got 4 logs. And as you're going to see, if I don't use the shovel, it won't let me build. But if I take a hammer and I look at the stairwell, I can build the base. And now you're pretty much going to rinse and repeat. We have 2nd floor up top, so that's going to be our ceiling. 2nd floor left, 2nd floor right, 2nd floor front. And repeat that cycle until you are done. Couple last things that we can do to upgrade this is to add a camo net. So if we go to the back side, we drag and drop the camo net. You'll see it gives us a little cover in the trees. Especially for the metal, it really helps it not be seen. And the second thing that we can do, and this is also just something that some people may not know. If you're really struggling to find metal wire because you want to build a gate, but you have barbed wire, you could drag and drop pliers and it will craft metal wire for you. So barbed wire can be turned into metal wire with pliers. But if you want to add barbed wire to your fence, and what this does essentially is cut people when they get close or they start investigating, you can see that there's a top and a bottom for the barbed wire. So we're going to put it on top so no one could jump over. And it is kind of tricky actually getting it to connect. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at it on the ground. And you don't really look at it because that's right on it right there. You kind of look off it a little bit. And with the pliers in your hand, you will mount the pliers. Mount the barbed wire, sorry. And then there you go. You got barbed wire on your fence. But that's all the customization we can do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to a location. And I'm going to show you kind of what you can do for storage, what building in a location looks like. And I'll kind of give you some of the knowledge that I've attained through this last year. Because in the last year, I built more bases than the previous 9 years of me playing DayZ, right? So we're going to go right now and we're going to go to one of my favorite base building spots and maybe the most secure place to build as a solo. And we're going to look at what makes it good and what makes also a bad base building location. Let's go. So let's say you had decided to build in Cabanino, which is right next to Northwest Airfield. It has a well. It's a really good base location. And you're looking for which house to build in here. Your first thought may be, I should build in these barns because I have a lot of space in here. And although that is very true, you do have a lot of space in here. You also have 1, 2, 3, 4 doors and no dead end. That is what you are looking for, a dead end. What do I mean by that? I mean a location that even if it has multiple entrances, funnels to one location. What does that is Piano House here. Here is a dead end, right? Up these stairs, and then it's a dead end. This is what we want. Because all we need to do is make one fence, one gate kit, and put it right here. And then that entire dead end is off limits to passing by players. But what we're going to do here is we're going to look at an even better house. And one that you may not think, honestly, is a great house to build in. And one that I just built in under 3 hours on my birthday just yesterday. I built this base here. And that's this guy right here. This double beige. So we're going to look at this first inside. And we're going to see what makes it good. So even though there are 2 doors here, right? And they're coming from 2 entrances. If I put a door right here, this now all becomes mine. And the beautiful thing about this is I could even put a door here. I could put a couple doors here, probably one across. You know what? Let's do it. Let's build a base here right now for us. And just to remind you, here we are in Cabanino. There's Northwest Airfield, inches away. So much loot. VMC, inches away. Vibor, industrial. Oh, my juicy, juicy. Let's get to building, baby. First thing we're going to need to make is a fence kit. So let's grab that. Fence kit. Boom. We got it. Now, where's the dead end at? Well, it's back here, right in here. So anything I make out here is going to be for me. I want to include this fireplace right here. So I'm going to put my first wall, and this is where base building kind of gets tricky. You want things to be angled. You don't want things to be square. Obviously, I can't make it square right now because of the fireplace, but we want to angle it in a way that not only allows us to access our lock, which is going to be on which side, guys? Come on now. Come on now. It's going to be on that right side. I had to think about it for a second. So we need to be able to access that lock. So we're going to build right here. Here we go. We got a fence up. And now I need 2 logs. So we're going to go ahead and take out a hatchet here. And we're going to go cut down a tree. Now, in a live server, cutting down this tree right here, which may have 1 log in it or 2 logs, is a silly play because my base is right there. And if I or anyone else who is experienced in the game sees a down tree, we're going to expect someone was base building nearby and we're going to investigate. But that's just something for you to think about while you're cutting down trees out there in the world. So from this tree, I've already gotten 1 log. Some trees only will give me 1 and then they'll fall over. That is very unfortunate. Normally what I would do if this was a live server with a lot of people, I would take that 1 log and I would go, thank you, tree. I don't know if you give 3, but one day I will risk it and do 2. Maybe when I think the server is restarting, I will see how many logs you have in you, because when the server restarts, you'll be back up normal, and it will give less time for people to find out. But here we go. I'm on the soft side of my fence here, and I attach it. Oh, server's restarting soon? Okay, I'm going to figure out how many logs this has. So next time it restarts, I know how many logs I could get. It has 3. Just so you know, 3 is the max amount of logs any tree can give you without falling down. So this tree is blessed. For my base, this tree would be something that I would yield every server restart that I was on. I would hit 2 logs from it, and I'd bring it inside, because we're going to see what logs can be turned into in just a second here. So boom, I attached it. Now I need to get myself my shovel, my farming hoe, my pickaxe, and we're just going to build base right here. Boom, son. And don't forget, your fence kit drops on the ground, so now I got that. And now we need to fill out the nails, the planks, and the metal wire. And this is where I'm going to educate you guys on planks, okay? First off, you get planks by sawing either a stack of planks like this, like a pile of planks, or by chopping down a tree, getting the wooden log from it, and then sawing that wooden log down. And we are going to do both of these right now just to show you. So there we go. We got 3 wooden logs from this. Just like I said, that's the maximum they can have. But let me bring this over here. Okay, so I am going to admin saw this lumber pile really quick, okay? Now, not every backpack will be able to fit a lumber pile if you're on PC. Only the largest backpacks on PC are going to be able to transfer wooden planks. Okay. On console, however, I recently found out that if you have 64 slots, it'll make do. So you could put the wooden log that I got from this tree that I have to lift on PC and walk inside. You guys could just put that in your backpack and run inside on console. But on PC, you're going to want the mountain backpack, the combat bag, or the field backpack. Even on console, you're going to want it too, but it's not mandatory. But this is why lumber piles are better. It's not even for the effectiveness of you gathering planks. Yeah, sure, it's cool to have a bunch of planks and to get it fast. It is more so for, oh, let me grab the items really quick. It is more so because of this item right here. This is a sharpening stone. And this allows you to sharpen any tool that you have used that is damaged. So, for example, we use this handsaw a bunch, and now the handsaw's in really bad shape. We would take the sharpening stone or the whetstone, which you find mostly at Outhouse, honestly. The most valuable item in base building other than nails is this sharpening stone. And we're going to combine right here. And that's just going to repair our saw. And what this means for us as a base builder is this is extending the life of our tools. I mean, you don't understand it now, but your tools are going to be breaking constantly under usage, and you're going to want to use them as little as possible. So now, with that being said, I want you to process this, okay? When we cut down trees, if I just walked over to this tree and I cut this bad boy down, right? I am using my axe right now to cut down this tree. So I'm going to have to repair my axe with a sharpening stone because I'm using it to get the wooden log right now, okay? I got the 2 wooden logs. Now I'm going to use my handsaw and combine it with the wooden log to craft a wooden plank. Now, because I'm using my saw separate from the hatchet, I'm going to have to repair my saw now as well. So essentially, when you go to a wood pile or a pile of planks like this, you are cutting the amount of times you're going to have to use your sharpening stone in half, right? I'm not going to have to sharpen my hatchet anymore because all I'm using is my handsaw. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. The problem is these lumber piles aren't everywhere, and that's where iSurvive comes in. And that's a map, a digital, like, interactive map that you can activate in the filter lumber piles and find one close to your base. Essentially, you're really going to want to find one of these. This is like, it cuts the amount of time your entire endeavor takes in half. And alongside that, it allows you to do it discreetly without downing 50 trees right by your base. So after we got this guy, I'm going to build this guy up, and we're just going to look at this. I'm going to speed run this base build really quick just so you guys don't have to sit through me just going duk, 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 over and over again. I hate myself. I built the wrong thing. You can build that platform. It's really useless. Don't build it. Okay, where's my... All right, important to note, you can build this little platform, but don't. It sucks. Important to note as well, check this out. When the door is out and I tried to build anything, it's intersecting with the door. So things in the world that are actively in the way of the door being built will stop it. So like I couldn't build it, so I have to close the door, and now I could build it, right? And here we go with maybe the most common thing that people do that gets them killed when it comes to building their base. They built their base, but they forgot their metal wire outside. So they built the wall, and then they went, oh, wait a second. I can't get out. Oh, wait a second. And it's a dead end because I made it in a dead end, and oh no, right? So make sure when you are building this that you don't mess yourself up and make yourself have to backtrack. You want to make sure you have that metal wire, those pliers, and that code lock ready to go. So boom, we got our gate on. Most importantly, if I did put the code lock on right now, it would be right here. Incredibly important. I'm going to show you a mistake that you can make that I actually made on that same live stream that I talked about. That I made with building a gate. So if I were to build this gate right here, it looks cool, right? I'm solidifying the location. But when I build that code lock, it's going to be on the left side of the door when I'm facing it, right? So it's going to be over here. And when I'm in here, I'm not going to be able to access. Here, I'll just show you. Okay, so I'm going to use a 3 digit just to show you. But let's say you were coming back from your base. You just opened it, your first time coming back, and you locked it. Well, now I can't reach my lock over there. It's too far away, you see? So you can mess yourself up and lock yourself in and make it like, even now that that's on there, even if I take a hatchet into my hands, I can't dismantle the wall because it has a combination lock on it. If a wall has a lock on it, you cannot adjust it at all. It's stuck. It's locked. So we would be literally trapped inside of here for the rest of time if that was the case. But let's get back to base building the proper way here. Okay, so we have one wall there. I'm going to make another wall. How can I make it so that it doesn't... Boom, we got our second wall. All right, well, there's no really need to continue when it comes to the walls here. I'm just showing you that if you find a dead end, you can really use the gates as a means to solidifying that dead end. And here we are behind 4 doors already, and I haven't even really gotten like in too deep here. The doors will bleed through the walls like crazy though when they are open, so you have to know that you're kind of going to give yourself away if you leave your doors open too often. But now let's talk about storage. Now let's talk about storage options and things that we can do as far as getting loot inside of our base, right? Because it doesn't help if we have all these walls and we have no loot in here. So let's talk about the things we can get. So for smaller players, barrels, sea chests, and wooden storage crates are definitely the way to go. For groups, I would say below 5. You can stack these. You could get 10 of all of these. Most of all, these wooden crates. You craft these by doing this. 8 planks and 16 nails. And you can make essentially infinite of these in the same way that you could build infinite walls. So long as you could find planks, which are constantly around us, respawning on every restart, and you could find nails, you can make storage chests, and that could be your loot storage entirely. For bigger groups, we have the tent variants, and those are these. So for tent variants, we have the small little civilian tent, we have the party tent, we have the military tent, and we have the car tent. The issue with tents is that they require a large flat surface area. So these are generally going to be used if you are building in an industrial, or you're building in an area that's really wide open, or on flat ground. Generally speaking, they're kind of harder to make work than the other options that I showed you inside of our base in here. But ultimately, they carry a lot more space. This one, I think it's something crazy. 400 slots. Yeah, that's wild. This one's even more. 500 slots. Very big storage. 150. Pretty gross, actually. Not much. And 200 on this guy. So a lot of storage in these guys, even though they are hard to use for some people and some bases out there. They're going to be actually perfect for what you're looking for. Alongside the tents are the shelter kits, and all three of these can be built by combining a rope and stick together. The one on the left is made of more sticks, so you're going to get long stick and short sticks, and that will make that. The one in the middle is going to be made out of tarp, and the one on the very right is going to be made out of leather. Once we have the kit in our hands, we're just going to left click, and it's going to work like a watchtower. And when we place it and we go inside, we're going to find the requirements, either leather, tarp, or sticks, as we saw over there. It's always going to take 4 long sticks as well to make them. So now I have my base pretty much set up on the inside. And I just want to give this last little kind of perspective on how you can go about base building. So once we have solidified the inside, right? First off, super discreet base, like, the only way you're going to walk by and even see this is if I left the door open, or you're like looking in the window and you're like, oh shoot, there's the soft side right here. Like, oh wow, there's another, you know, it's going to be quite difficult for you to navigate through this, but something you can do, because I don't think a way to play DayZ when it comes to being raided is to hope that no one finds you. I like to think I would rather solidify my position in a way that if someone finds me, they go, oh, I don't have enough for that, right? So something we can do to build outside. So now we have the inside sort of locked off and in a good way. We can build these watchtowers, and this is where, for me, other than building standalone, watchtowers can become incredibly powerful. So we're gonna try and build it kind of at a, what degree angle is that? We're gonna build it just at the door. Right there, right? We're going to line the door up with this guy right here. Is there a watchtower kit? That looks way better. All right, so now that we got that one lined up, let's see about lining up this one. That looks pretty perfect right there. Oh my goodness, it's going to be beautiful. Please don't do it. Please leave me alone. Please don't do it. Goodbye. Okay. All right. So now we have the frames of both of my watchtowers built. I'm going to build them all the way up to the top. Check it out. All right. So there we go. We got everything built. Let's see what it looks like from the inside now. So now we should be able to get up on top here. So you can use these watchtowers as a sort of outdoor break. Now, you may be saying, but Cameron, wait, there's no door between this. Yeah, I got a plan for that too, buddy. Just wait. Just wait. There's more. All right, so here we have made like an extra sort of buffer from our base to the outside. What we did here is we built a watchtower, but we only built it 1 floor. And we built the walls, but we didn't build the front. So if you see here, the front was never built. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take ourselves a fence kit. And I normally prefer doing this from the outside in. It's really a preference when it comes down to it, like how you best line it up. But I prefer going from the outside, and I'm just going to line this up like right in the front, and I'm going to scroll wheel, flip it. Remember, if you mess it up, just left click again and then reset. And I'm going to line this up so it's just equal on both sides. I'm just going to barely pull it out. Just barely. You see, we get a little flicker of white. We want that. We want that. We want that. We want that right there. Come on. Boom. So we built a fence in front of a watchtower, just one level in. So what's going to happen here? Let's see. So we built that fence kit and then we turned it into a gate. And what this does is it essentially gives us another buffer. This is called an airlock. So when I open this door, what I would do is I would build another fence kit right here. So I would have another sustainable or like another buffer before you get into my hub. So then I could close this. So let's say someone was sniping me over in the hill and they killed me right now. They would only get to right here and they would have to now deal with these walls, right? So this is called airlock. It's incredibly important in all like survival base building video games that you have something like this. You don't want to just have one door here. And when you open it, you got your padlock in your hand and someone shoots you and then they get access to your entire base. Another important note is not to use the same code lock for your front lock as the rest of your base. Maybe your second lock you could use the same, but you're not going to want to use the same code for your front lock as the rest of your entire base. But as you can see here, we have pretty much our base established. The last thing we're going to talk about is the flagpole. And this has a place in DayZ for sure. But for the majority of players who are building a base, I don't think it's very necessary. But what it does is essentially everything within proximity, if there's a flag riding high on it, it'll like reset the life timer. So things won't disappear so long as there's a flag raised on it. We'll look at that in just a second here. But in order to put upgrade the flagpole, we need to put a log in it. And this is the one time that we can't use a pickaxe to upgrade the base. We have to use a sledgehammer. The only thing that a sledgehammer is exclusively used for in DayZ. And once we build this, we're going to need logs and large stones. And this is where you're going to use this pickaxe. Essentially, we have to go to stones, such as this one right here, and we gather large stone from it. This will sometimes get a small stone, sometimes get us a large stone. Ultimately, these are unstackable, so we're going to have to fill up our inventory with these. It's going to take us multiple pickaxes. And because you can't repair pickaxes, getting these large stones is going to be a lot of work. I'm telling you now. It's like you have to find a well-conditioned pickaxe and maybe even two of them to get all the stuff done. And then you have to transfer it back. The next stage of this, once we have completely filled the inventory slots, we're going to take a pickaxe or a shovel and we are going to build support. Upon this, now we have to build the actual flagpole. We're going to need 3 logs, we're going to need a rope, metal wire, and some nails for that. And when we upgrade this last slot after we filled it out, we are going to use either a hammer or a hatchet to finish the job. And boom. Now, without a flag on this, this is not doing anything. This is essentially a useless endeavor that you've invested into here. So we need to get a flag. Normally, you're going to find flags in supermarkets and storefronts for some reason. But we're going to walk over to the inventory of the flagpole, and we're just going to drag and drop it, and then we're going to look at it and raise flag. Pew, pew, pew. And there you go. Slowly, that flag is going to drop down. So on a timer, it's going to be riding high, and then it's going to go down 1 level, and then another level, and then another level. And then eventually it's going to go all the way down. And when it's all the way down, it is no longer refreshing the lifespan of our items. Normally when people build a flagpole, like big groups, they'll wall it off with a gate. So they'll build a wall around it so people can't get in there and easily manipulate it and take the flagpole down. But in general, the flagpole is only something that you are going to need if you're part of a large group and you're not touching your items. Because every single time that you interact with your items in your base, for example, if I am in here and I move this crate into the sea chest, and then I pick up the sea chest and I drop the sea chest, right? These are all actions. Oh, sorry, I moved the crate into the barrel. These are all actions that are going to refresh the lifespan of our items in here. So all of those items now are going to have refresh timers. I just opened that. I interacted with it, right? So in order to avoid having to interact with everything, which generally speaking is only going to happen when you have a lot of things that you have to interact with and you're scared that you maybe won't interact with all of them every single time. If I have 50 different barrels in this base, right, it may be hard for me to make sure that I interact with everyone. That is when you build a flagpole. When you are a solo and you have 4 wooden storage boxes, do not bother with building a flagpole. It's completely unnecessary. It's one of the most common questions I get is like, should I do this? No, you should not. It's not worth it. And that's all, guys. I hope this base building guide helps you When I recorded this yesterday, I was really out of it, so I kind of added a couple things today. Or sorry, 2 days when I recorded a couple days ago. But I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope these guides are hitting well. I think I have a couple really good base building guides coming up for you guys, and we got the Bethany episode. So thank you all so very much for watching. You're changing my life every day. We're going for 100,000 this next year, baby. Be good to each other out there, or don't.